Alright, hey guys, Only Gamer here, and I'm back with another collection video. And today, guys, I'm going to be updating my original PlayStation game collection. The reason why I say updating is because, well, I already showed off my PS1 games like 3 years ago, I think. It was like late 2020 thereabouts. But I've gotten more games since then, and I watched that video back like a few months ago, and honestly, I didn't really like it all that much. Like, I felt like I just went past. I went past each game way too quick, and I didn't show off like the inside, like the disc and manual, which I usually like to do. So I decided I'm essentially going to remake that video, since I've gotten more games in my PS1 collection and stuff, and hopefully this time I could do a way better job than what I did in 2020. But yeah, so I'm showing off my original PlayStation games right here. This is my entire collection. It's roughly around about 70-ish games, thereabouts. Not every game is in a PS1 case, kind of hard to tell, but there are like some games where I do have a disc only sprinkled around here, but the majority are in PS1 cases. So the original PlayStation is one of the first game systems I ever collected for. When I first started game collecting way back in like 2010, 2011, I got into like the hobby like really, really young. I was only like 8, I think, at the time. My dad handed me down his old PS2 Slim, which I still have to this day. And yeah, and the first two consoles I collected for were the original PlayStation and the PlayStation 2. And so yeah, so this is basically most of what I've accumulated over the past like decade or so. I say mostly because I have sold some games here and there. Not too many, some of these games are, are fairly recent that I've added to the collection. But some here I actually have owned for well over 10 years. So yeah, so here's my collection. I love the original PlayStation. It's not my favorite console. The PS2 is actually my favorite console, but the original PlayStation has a great library of games. But you guys already know that by now. And also, it's crazy to think that next year, in December, it's actually going to be the 30th anniversary of PlayStation as a brand. It's actually been around for 30 years as of next year, which is insane. But yeah, so with that being said, here's my entire PS1 game collection. I'm going to go through each game one by one. I might say a little bit about them, maybe not all the games, because to be honest, I haven't actually played every single game in my collection. But, if there's something I want to briefly talk about, of a game, like just like an interesting memory I have, or just like my brief thoughts or whatever, then I'll talk about it. And I will also like be showing like the inside, like the disc and manual and stuff. All these games are complete, except for the few disc-only games that I have scattered around here. But yeah, so with that being said, let's just get straight on with the collection. I put everything in alphabetical order, so it's from A to W. I don't have any games beginning with Z or anything, so yeah, let's get started. So let's start off with this first mini pile here. Starting things off, we have Apocalypse, which is an often forgotten game from Activision, actually developed by Neversoft, my favorite game company of all time, obviously the creators of the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series. This was the game they made right before Pro Skater. This was a twin-stick shooter, in case you've never heard of it. Apocalypse is a twin-stick shooter, starring Bruce Willis. Yeah, it's a really fun game, actually. Kind of the precursor, somewhat, to the first Pro Skater, because Pro Skater 1 was actually built off, like, Apocalypse. Like, it was using, like, the same game engine as Apocalypse and stuff. And the initial prototype for Pro Skater actually, like, reused, like, levels and, like, Bruce Willis's character model from this game, just, like, on a skateboard and stuff. Yeah, so if it wasn't for this game, we honestly wouldn't have even had Pro Skater. Which is insane to think, but yeah, this is complete, as you can see. So it's a really, really fun game. If you're a big fan of like twin stick shooters, highly recommend it. It's like one of the early twin stick shooters, and it is a really fucking fun game. So yeah, there's that. And then next up we have Atari Anniversary Edition Redux. This is an old ass Atari compilation, which has games from mainly like old Atari arcade games. Yeah, these are all arcade games. There are some compilations like Atari Anthology for the PS2, which I also have, which have a mixture of arcade and like 2600 games, but this one's just arcade games. And there's 12. There's Asteroids Deluxe, Battlezone, Black Widow, Centipede, Gravita, Missile Command, Pong, Space Duel, Super Breakout, Tempest, and Warlords. So yeah. Of course, with like Atari 50 being out and all, like, this compilation is pretty much completely useless now, but, it's interesting to look back on, because there's not many, like, game compilations for, like, the original PlayStation, so, yeah. It's pretty interesting to own, as a bit of history, but, yeah. Anyway, next is a game that I haven't played at all. I actually got this for free a few months back, B-Movie. I think it's some sort of maybe RTS game. I have no idea. Never played it. It is complete. So here's the disc. Yeah, I did a whole video like a few months back. I actually got like a whole bag full of PS1 games completely for free from my nan actually. So yeah, and this was one of them. But I'll be honest, I've only actually played like 2 games from that entire lot that I got for free. But you know, it is what it is. Next we have Ballistic, which I know is a puzzle game. Yeah, basically like Bejeweled. In fact, I think it's exactly like Bejeweled, just with a different name. This one's complete as well. I haven't played this one either, but this did come with a lot of free PS1 games I got back in March. And then next we have Bust a Move 2, which this one I've not only not played, but I physically can't play because there's no fucking disc. This was yet another game I got for free from my nan, but yeah, there was no disc inside. So I just got the case and manual. So even if I really wanted to play it, I can't because there's no fucking disc. But yeah, I mean, it's Bust a Move. We all pretty much know what it is by now. Next, Colony Wars, another game I got from that free lot. Some sort of like 3D spaceship shooter. This one comes on 2 discs. So yeah, that's it. I really should try these games out honestly because I've owned them since March and I haven't played any of them really. This next one might be the most expensive game in my collection. Contra Legacy of War. And this also came with a free lot, so I actually got it for free, but usually this game, I shit you not, at least complete in box, goes for around about like 60 to 100 quid. Like I had a brief look on eBay once, and there was one copy for sale. It was complete in box, and I shit you not, it was 99.99. So 100 quid pretty much. And I got it for free, which is fucking insane. I mean, it's not a particularly good game. I mean, you know, it's considered one of the worst in the Contra series. Of course, Contra's a legendary franchise, but this game, you know, is considered to be one of the worst ones. You know, it was the first 3D Contra, and yeah, it was kind of like a bit of a train wreck. But yeah, it's worth about 100 quid complete in box, and I actually got it for free. Insane, I know. Yeah, next we have a game I've owned for a very long time, Cool Borders. This is one of like my personal favourites. It's an early 3D snowboarding game for the original PlayStation. And yeah, it's definitely seen better days. I mean, it's got like fucking God knows what inside, like all this gunk and stuff. But yeah, I've owned this game for fucking forever now. And yeah, Cool Borders is a franchise I've loved for a really long time. And it would be really cool if they made a new one, which, let's be honest, will never happen because the original developer was bankrupted a long time ago. But I would love to see a new Cool Borders, personally. And I've got the rest of the series here. It's Cool Borders 2, the Platinum release. God, I've had this game for so long. I bought this back in Blockbuster, back when they still had Blockbusters in this country. Like, that's how long I've owned this game for. I bought it at fucking Blockbuster in like 2011. Like, no joke, I've had this game for forever. But yeah, this is my favourite in the Cool Borders series, actually. I mean, gameplay-wise, it's aged like milk. Like, it definitely feels like a PS1 snowboarding game. But, you know, it has a kick-ass soundtrack. And, yeah, it's very much a product of its time, but I still kind of like it. But yeah, it's Cool Borders 3, which I personally felt like was a disappointment. This was made by a completely different developer. My copy's got a lot of damage to it, as you can see. But yeah, it was okay, but it was kind of boring, honestly. I much prefer the web systems developed Cool Borders games. And then we have Cool Borders 4 right here, which is mostly the same thing as Cool Borders 3, but just had better graphics and stuff, but yeah, wasn't really a big fan of Cool Borders 3 and 4. Then we have next another game that I haven't played, Dodge Arena. Again, got it from the free lot of games I got from my nan. Pretty much every game, like I said, other than just 2, that I got from my nan from that free lot I haven't played. But yeah, this is like a car combat game, I guess. I don't know, but it's complete. Alright, moving on. This is a disc-only game. We have Doom, which is, in my opinion, one of the best console ports, especially back then. So yeah, really, really amazing version of Doom. It would be so cool if like Night Dive or whoever actually like remastered this version, you know, that'd be so fucking cool. I mean, they did like Doom 64 and stuff, and of course Quake 1 and 2. So it would be really awesome if they did a PS1 Doom as well. Then we have Driver, another classic for the PS1. Of course, kind of like a predecessor to, you know, a lot of 3D open world games. Like this was like, you know, Driver did the whole 3D open world thing long before GTA. So yeah, very technically impressive for the PS1. Same with its sequel, Driver 2, which was very much like kind of like a proto GTA 3. You can like steal cars and stuff in this. But yeah, 2 discs. Next, we have an absolute FPS banger from the 90s, Duke Nukem, also known as Duke Nukem Total Meltdown in America. So yeah, this is the PS1 port of Duke Nukem 3D. This port's not the best. It has a lot of like frame rate issues and stuff. The soundtrack's amazing in this. You know, I really like the remix soundtrack in this version. But yeah, it's another game I've owned for a long time. Then we have Duke Nukem Time to Kill, which was one of the third-person spin-offs to Duke Nukem. Pretty fun game. Kind of plays similarly to like Tomb Raider, that sort of thing. And we've also got a sequel, which isn't in a proper PS1 case, Duke Nukem Land of the Babes. So yeah, which I heard was pretty terrible. I've only played a little bit of it. Yeah, it's basically, you know, it's a sequel to Time to Kill, plays the same pretty much. But yeah, I only played like a tiny bit of it. And then we have Dynasty Warriors, the first ever Dynasty Warriors, the one-on-one fighting Dynasty Warriors. Believe it or not, the first game wasn't actually a hack and slash. It was a one-on-one weapon-based fighter. So yeah, pretty alright game. I really like the later ones, like Dynasty Warriors 2 and 3 especially. I fucking love those games. The later ones are kind of after that, but the PS2 era ones are certified bangers. Next is Fantasy Journey. It's a pinball game. Never played it. Also comes with 2 discs. So yeah, not really much to say. Still got the original price sticker on it. Forsaken, which is like a first-person spaceship game, I think. Similarly to Descent. Final Doom, the other PS1 Doom that like not many people talk about. Yeah, Final Doom was a weird game, you know. It was basically like kind of like Doom 3 in the 90s, I guess. But it was mainly just like a collection of, I think it was like fan-made WADs or whatever that was officially released by id Software, and it got a PlayStation port. But yeah, and then we have FIFA Soccer 96, which is actually a really expensive game now. Not entirely sure why, but yeah, huge fucking chunky manual. I mean, look at that, Jesus Christ. A lot of the early PS1 games had like insanely thick manuals. But yeah, it's FIFA 96. It's an old football game. We have FIFA 2005, which was not only the last FIFA that came out on the PS1, but the last PS1 game to be released in the UK. Not the last one overall, but it was the last one in the UK, and I believe in America as well, where it was called FIFA Soccer 2005. So yeah, still got the original FIFA sticker as well, which is pretty cool. This is also pretty expensive because it is, you know, one of the last games for the system. G-Police, another game I haven't played. Also got 2 discs. The manual, I think it's yeah, probably another like 3D shooter type of deal. This one I actually have played, and this also came from the free lot. Galaga Destination Earth, which was basically like a free remake of Galaga, sort of. I mean, it's kind of its own thing, but yeah, this one doesn't have a manual, unfortunately. But yeah, this one I actually have played for a little bit, just to test it out. Why don't this cover stay on? Grand Theft Auto, the original, the OG, that started it all, the original top-down one. Yeah, this is an absolute classic. I am missing one of the maps. GTA 1 actually came with 2 maps. I've only got just the one. But yeah. Hopefully GTA 6 comes out sometime over the next 50 years. You know, that'd be nice. Of course, Rockstar's going to continue to milk GTA 5 for as long as they can. You know, I mean, they've already released on 3 bloody generations of hardware. But yeah, this is GTA London, the expansion pack for the PS1. Also complete with the map. So yeah, this is the version that requires GTA 1 to function. I mean, there is also a standalone version as well, but I prefer like the packaging stuff to this one. So that's why I chose that one. And then we have GTA 2, which is, in my opinion, the best of the PS1 trilogy. Yeah, really good soundtrack in this as well. At least the main theme. I think it's hella underrated. But yeah, also complete with the map. And then we have Gran Turismo, the best-selling game on the original PlayStation. Oh. Disc is the Platinum version, which is kind of annoying, but you know, it is what it is. And GT2. Not a big fan of the Gran Turismo games. I do kind of like them, but yeah, I personally prefer Forza. I'm more of a Forza guy, especially Forza Horizon. But you know, Gran Turismo's okay. It's just not really my thing. Lego Racers, one of the early Lego games. I think this was actually the first Lego game that came out on consoles, if you don't want to count like Lego Fun to Build and the Sega Pico, which, you know, it's debatable if you even count that as a home console or whatever, but yeah, it's a Lego racing game. You could kind of consider it like the precursor to like Lego 2K Drive or something. But yeah, pretty fun game from what I remember, but I haven't played it in a long ass time. Lego Island 2, which this version kind of sucks, I'm not going to lie. If you're going to play Lego Island 2, play the PC version. This one's just, yeah. Oh my god, it's got a bunch of stuff in there. I forgot about this. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I do like me the Lego games. You know, they're very fun. Even like the early ones on PC and stuff, I have quite a lot of those. Yeah, anyway, moving on. We have Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX, which is basically just Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, but with BMX instead. Pretty fun game. I do love the Tony Hawk games. They are my favourite. Tony Hawk is my favourite franchise of all time, so of course I'm going to like Pro BMX. I don't like it nearly as much, but you know, the Activision 02 games are pretty good, but obviously they're nothing compared to Tony Hawk in my opinion. Except for Sean Palmer's Pro Snowboarder, that game's an absolute banger. But yeah, MDK, which was the PS1 port, was developed by Neversoft. Again, the Tony Hawk developers. Got that complete as well. So they even got the original poster as well. So yeah. Medal of Honor, the Platinum version, which is one of the early World War II first-person shooters. Mine's got a cracked case. But yeah, there it is. Only played a little bit of it. I couldn't really get into it, mainly because the controls, you know, the controls were just kind of crap, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, visually it's quite impressive for PS1, except for like the character models, which are horrendous. But yeah, here's Monopoly. Absolute banger of a game. This is actually, in my opinion, the best console port of Monopoly. The soundtrack in this is way better than it has any right to be. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, go listen to it if you don't believe me. The soundtrack for Monopoly on PS1 is actually surprisingly really, really good. And again, it's like, it's Monopoly. Like, you wouldn't think Monopoly of all things would have a good soundtrack, but it does. So yeah, I highly recommend it if you like the, you know, board game Monopoly. Motocross Mania, another game I brought at Blockbuster way back in the day. So yeah, it's like a dirt bike racing game. And I've also got a sequel, Motocross Mania 2, which was pretty shit, to be honest. I haven't played the third one. The third one you can like beat people up on bikes and stuff, but yeah, similar to like Road Rash or whatever. It's got this annoying like sticker on it as well. It's a security sticker. I don't know how to get rid of it, but yeah. And then we have Motorhead, another game I haven't played. Looks pretty fun. It's a racing game, but yeah, just haven't tried out. Namco Museum Volume 1. I've only got the first volume of this. There is like a whole, like, there's 5 of them I think for PS1, and I've only got the first one. But yeah, another early compilation. The original PlayStation. It's got Toy Pop, Rally X, New Rally X, Pole Position, Pac-Man, Bisconian, and Gallagher. So yeah. Nanotech Warrior, yeah, another game I haven't played. This was another very early game for the PS1. There it is. So yeah, it's like another 3D space shooter. I mean, I'm just basing it. I'm just like judging off the like screenshots on the back. But yeah. Then we have Road and Track presents the Need for Speed. This was the very first Need for Speed game. Broken case. Another super chunky manual. Look at that. Jesus Christ. I mean, again, like early PS1 games had the thickest manuals. But yeah. There's that. Then we have Need for Speed 2, which I think was the one I actually played the most out of the PS1 games. But yeah. And I've also got Need for Speed 3. I don't have a Road Challenge or Porsche 2000, or aka High Stakes and Porsche Unleashed, as they were called in America. I've only got just the first 3. But yeah, there they are. Oh my god. Yeah, I forgot some of these cases are actually pretty damaged. Some of them don't like shut properly. Nuclear Strike. Really like the Strike games, the EA Strike games back in the day, for like the Mega Drive and the PS1. This was the last one they did, and yeah, classic series. I really wish I'd bring it back. Psychic Force, which I believe is like an anime fighting game. I think another one I haven't played. I would like to try it out because I do like fighting games. But yeah. There's that. Racing Simulation, Monaco Grand Prix. Another game I haven't played. Another game with, like, look, you just don't get this nowadays, bro. You don't get manuals at all now. And it's back in the PS1 days, you had like these fucking, oh my god. Like it makes the game super heavy as well because of just how chunky the manual is. Oh, here we have a classic, absolute classic, Ridge Racer. The original one. Ridge Racer is a long dead franchise. I mean, I don't know what happened to it. You know, Ridge Racer used to be a staple of PlayStation for the longest time. It would always like come out like at the launch of a new PlayStation system, and then like after like Unbound in 2012, which was like kind of like a Burnout sort of type game. Yeah, they just kind of stopped making Ridge Racer games for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. Here's Ridge Racer Revolution, which I got for 99p AMT Games. Yes, I actually kept the price sticker on this one, just so I can always remember just how cheap it was when I brought it. I don't know how much this game goes for nowadays, but yeah, I got it for only 99p back in like 2015, I think it was. Then we have Ridge Racer Type 4, which I haven't really played too much of. It does have the high-spec demo inside. It's basically the original Ridge Racer, but like upgraded to like 60 FPS and stuff. But yeah, kind of like sort of a remaster in a way of the original game. Then we have Rising Zan, the Samurai Gunman, probably the most obscure game in my PS1 library. This was actually made by the same developers who did Cool Borders. And yeah, it's a 3D, like almost like Devil May Cry, sort of hack and slash, like shooter type of game. It's pretty fun actually, you know, it's very like over the top, like tonally and stuff, but yeah, pretty fun game. You know, this definitely deserves a remake in my opinion. And then we have Soviet Strike, the EA Classics release. Yeah, this was the predecessor to Nuclear Strike. I didn't play as much of the PS1 games. I did like the Mega Drive ones, like Desert, Jungle, and Urban Strike. But these are still decent games. So Soviet Strike was pretty good, but so yeah, it didn't have like that banging like opening theme song like the Mega Drive games did. You know, both Soviet and Nuclear Strike. All right, now moving to the final pile. Here we have Skeleton Warriors, which was a game based on an old cartoon series. The first game developed by Neversoft, which is the reason why I brought it. So yeah, I've only got a disc-only copy, which is really annoying, but I got it for only £8, which is an absolute bargain, because this game, like, complete in box, at least the PAL copy, goes for like at least 30 to 40 quid, so... And even like disc-only, like, the cheapest I've seen for disc-only is like 20 quid, so the fact I got it for only 8 is just insane. Here's another Neversoft game, Spider-Man 2000. Absolute banger. The best Spider-Man game, in my opinion. Of course, Spider-Man 2, the new one by Insomniac, is coming out in October. So, I would have done like a Spider-Man game collection video to celebrate, but I already did one like 2 years ago, and my collection just hasn't changed at all since then. So, if you want to see that video, you know, I'll probably have it like, you know, like in the, like have an annotation above or something. But yeah, this is my favorite Spider-Man game by far. I love this game so much. And here's the sequel, which I didn't get into as much, but it was okay. I don't remember too much of it, but it mainly just felt like an expansion pack to the original game. But yeah, this one wasn't made by Neversoft. This one was made by Vicarious Visions instead. We did a lot of like the early like Tony Hawk ports like back in the day for the Game Boy Advance and stuff. And they also did the Pro Skater 1-2 remake, you know, in 2020. Star Wars Dark Forces, which this game's getting a remaster soon. by Night Dive. We don't exactly know when it's coming out, probably, hopefully sometime the end of this year. But yeah, but this game's finally getting remastered, it's being brought over to modern consoles and PC and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm definitely going to get that when it comes out. But yeah, this is the only version of Dark Forces I've actually played, is the PS1 version. But yeah, basically an early Star Wars FPS, and a pretty good one at that. Oh, remember this absolute gem, Masters of Teräs Käsi, the one-on-one fighting game. Yeah, I mean, this game's been absolutely, like, you know, everyone just shit on it over the years. You know, AVGN did a review on it as well. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was as bad as what people were saying it was, but yeah, it's definitely not the best fighting game. But I honestly didn't think it was too bad. I mean, it's actually like quite fun from what I remember. Then we have the Phantom Menace game, based on, of course, the movie. Yeah, this one I didn't really play too much of. It was like an overhead sort of 3D action game. Pretty boring from what I remember. We have Episode 1, Jedi Power Battles, which I don't remember too much of. Yeah. And then we have the original Tekken right here. Of course, Tekken 8 comes out early next year, which I would like to get when it comes out, but unfortunately I don't have a PS5 at the moment, and I don't know if I'll actually get one by the time Tekken 8 comes out. If I do, say if I get one for Christmas or whatever, unlikely, but if I do, then, you know, I'd love to pre-order Tekken 8. You know, I'd love to play it, but, you know, it's only on, like, the current gen systems. It's not coming out on last gen, so... But I'll definitely get it once I get PS5. I'll definitely get Tekken 8, but, yeah, there's the first one. And the second one right here. Absolutely amazing game. I love the Tekken games. It's probably my favourite fighting franchise. That and Street Fighter, I'd say. My favourite Tekken's personally the next one coming up, Tekken 3. This one's my favourite. But yeah, I have played all the others. I own all of them except for Tag Tournament 2. That's like the only console one I'm missing. But yeah, Tekken 3 is an absolute banger. I love this game. Tennis Arena, which is a tennis game, obviously. Made by Ubisoft, actually. Haven't played it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's any good or not. I do actually like tennis games. Like I play things like Virtual Tennis and Topspin and stuff. I do like those kind of games. But oh my god, this one doesn't really close properly. Just got a few more here. So the next Tetris. It's Tetris. I mean, most of you want me to say. Another game with a really good soundtrack, actually. This was also made by Hasbro Interactive, who did Monopoly. Like a really good techno soundtrack in this. But yeah, it's a pretty decent version of Tetris, actually. Not the best, but good for the time. And we have Theme Park. Another game I've owned for a very, very long time. It's obviously like a park game. Make your own theme park and stuff. The sequel's also in here as well. Theme Park World, which I only have just the disc 4. But there's the original. So yeah, Theme Park World's kind of the same thing, but in full 3D. But yeah. This game's a classic. It's one of the only what would you call it, like management type games that I own, really. But it's not really like my sort of like genre, like these type of games. But I do actually like Theme Park. And here we have Time Crisis, absolute classic light gun game. Really, really hope they would make either a new game or port over Time Crisis 5, which they still haven't to this day. But yeah, it's Platinum 1. And then here we have like the weird console exclusive spin-off, which not many people ever talk about, Project Titan. This one was okay as well. Definitely not as good as like the first one or some of the later Time Crisis games. But, you know, it was an okay game. It was pretty much like the sequel to the PS1 version specifically of Time Crisis 1, because like Time Crisis 1 for the PS1 had like an exclusive campaign. I was only in that version, and then like Project Titan was like the sequel to that, to the PS1 campaign, the exclusive one. But yeah, moving on to my favorite series of all time. You know, it's no shock at this point. You know, I've talked about it loads of time. You know, I've made tons of videos before in the past saying, you know, how much I love Tony Hawk and stuff. And of course, I've shown off my Tony Hawk collection many times before. But yeah, it's the first Pro Skater. aka Tony Hawk Skateboarding. Definitely it's not aged the best, but it's still a very fun game to play to this day. And then this one might be my favourite game on the original PlayStation, honestly. Like Pro Skater 2. A game that needs absolutely no introduction, you know. Another game with a broken case, god damn it. But there it is. Yeah, a lot more PS1 games have like broken case and stuff, or they've just got like what looks like mold inside. I don't know why. Probably because I haven't played a lot of these in God knows how long. Then we have Pro Skater 3, which is my favourite game in the series, but not this version specifically. I much prefer like the PS2 version, but Pro Skater 3 for PS1 was pretty good as well. It was basically like Pro Skater 2 with Pro Skater 3 like coat of paint, essentially, like around the same game engine and everything. But yeah, it was a pretty good port. And we also have Pro Skater 4 as well, which is pretty much the same thing, just Pro Skater 2 with Pro Skater 4 levels and stuff. So yeah, it's a complete quadrilogy, I guess you would call it, for PS1. And then down to the last two games, we have Versus, which I really want to try out, but I haven't yet. It's another fighting game. And that's pretty much all I know about it, is that it is a fighting game. But it does look very interesting. You know, I do really want to try this out at some point. But yeah, got the original price sticker on it as well. Got that for free. And then last but not least, we have Worms Pinball, which I also haven't played. Came for that free lot of games, and just like all of them except for 2, I haven't played it. But yeah, I had the original Worms a long time ago for PS1, but I sold it because I just couldn't get into it. So, I mean, this one I'll probably like more because it's pinball, and you know, I like pinball games. I mean, I'm not like super into it or anything, but you know, I don't mind pinball games, but yeah, just haven't played it yet. But yeah, guys, there you have it. That is my entire original PlayStation game collection. Just gonna move all this stuff, hopefully without dropping anything, because that would be not good at all. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, let me know down in the comments like what are your favourite games from original PlayStation. Yeah, just let me know like your top 10 or 5 or whatever favourite PS1 games, and just how many games in total you own for the original PlayStation. Like I said, I own about 73, I think it was, thereabouts, 70 something. So yeah, just let me know in the comments like how many original PlayStation games do you own and what's your favourites. But yeah, so with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and peace. And I shall see you guys in the next upload.